Hi guys, I'm Libertman, forced to be alone but free to decide how to live it. Welcome to this new live stream. Today we're talking about something that looks like strength from the outside but is often something else from the inside. Not sadness, not heartbreak, not hunger, but the moment when a man feels nothing. No longing, no pain, no hope, no disappointment. Just flatness, emotional silence. So this live stream is about the emotional shutdown and why repeated rejection doesn't always make men more emotional. It often makes them numb. So for today I have selected a study called Alone but Feeling No Pain. Effects on social exclusion, on physical pain tolerance and pain threshold, affective forecasting and interpersonal empathy, by the authors DeWall and Baumeister. So, this is one of the classic findings in social psychology. Social exclusion can produce emotional numbness rather than an explosion of emotion. So let's read it properly and then interpret it carefully. The authors report that social exclusion can produce reduced sensitivity, including physical pain tolerance changes rather than purely heightened distress. That's the first key idea for this video. Repeated rejection doesn't always keep hurting the same way. Sometimes the nervous system adapts by turning down feeling. This is the I'm fine state that many men describe. But fine here can mean emotional anesthesia, a lowered sense of responsiveness, reduced empathic engagement, less anticipation and less disappointment. It's not moral, it's not ideology, it's adaptation. And why feeling nothing can be a defense? The brain learns patterns. If the patterns becomes reach out, being rejected, and therefore experiencing pain, try being ignored, and as a result pain again, having hope, experiencing disappointment, and experiencing pain again, then emotional shutdown becomes a form of protection. If I don't expect, I cannot be disappointed. If I don't feel, I cannot be hurt. This doesn't mean the man is healed. It means the man is buffered. So this paper's core logic is that exclusion can shift people into a state where they show altered pain responses and reduce emotional reaction, a kind of numbing profile following exclusion. This matters because men often interpret numbness as becoming rational, becoming strong, becoming unbothered. But numbness is not the same as strength. Strength is I can feel and still choose my behavior. Numbness is I don't feel, so nothing moves me. And the danger is subtle. Numbness can stabilize your life while also draining it of meaning. This paper helps explain why many men say, I'm not depressed. They might truly not be depressed in the classic sense, but they may be emotionally shut down. Depression often includes sadness, negative self-beliefs, and rumination, while shutdown often includes flat affect, a reduced emotional range, low social initiative, and a sense of being done. This is why people around them misread them as he doesn't care, he's cold, he moved on. But inside it can be more like, I can't afford to care. So what this study does not claim, just in order to stay rigorous, this study does not claim that these are only male-only effects, or does not claim permanent emotional damage or a single shutdown circuit in the brain. It supports a behavioral and psychological pattern that exclusion leads to numbing responses. That's enough to know to introduce this topic. If you're liking this series of live streams, please give the channel a like and subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot to continue creating content like this. So let me continue. So emotional shutdown begins as a state, but when it lasts long enough, it becomes something else. It becomes identity. And men stop saying, I feel hurt, I feel disappointed, and start saying, I'm just not emotional, I don't get attached, I don't need people. But this is not self-knowledge, it is adaptation solidified into a self-concept. The danger is not numbness. The danger is mistaking numbness for who you are. And why this state feels stable and sometimes even preferable? Well, one reason emotional shutdown persists is because it works. Nothing more than that. It works. And numbness reduces emotional volatility, eliminates disappointment, lowers social friction, and simplifies decision making. Men often experience it as life is calmer now. And it is, but calmer does not mean alive. This study shows that emotional blunting reduces not only pain, but also empathy, anticipation, and emotional forecasting, which means men don't just feel less pain, they also feel less pull toward the future. And why repeated rejection is the key variable here? Well, the authors show that exclusion does not simply increase distress. It produces a qualitatively different affective state that is characterized by emotional blunting and reduced responsiveness. And this matters deeply, as one rejection hurts, but two rejections hurt more. But repeated rejection teaches the nervous system that pain does not resolve, feeling does not help. So the system adapts away from feeling itself. This is why men often say, I used to care, now I don't. They are not lying when they say so, they have adapted. And why men don't notice the shutdown when it's happening? Emotional shutdown doesn't arrive dramatically. It arrives quietly. There is no single moment, no breakdown. Just a gradual reduction in emotional range, in the desire for closeness, in the intolerance for vulnerability. Men don't notice the loss because nothing feels wrong, and suffering decreases, and stability increases, but meaning erodes underneath. So now let's map the emotional shutdown across the 4 C4PC macro groups, as the same mechanism produces 4 very different male outcomes. In the case of the internal rationals, shutdown expresses as intellectual detachment, emotional minimization, and preference for abstraction over connection. And the identity narrative consists of emotions are inefficient. Internal rational are at risk of falling into deep isolation, masked as independence, and also emotional atrophy, and getting into difficulty re-engaging even when they desire it. So the exit path for them is reintroducing emotion through shared thinking and to establish new low-intensity relational bonds, while also getting new intellectual collaboration before intimacy. For the internal emotionals, shutdown expresses as emotional withdrawal through quiet resignation and internal sealing. Their identity narrative consists of it's safer to feel nothing than to feel rejected. They are at risk of experiencing loss of self-expression, of getting their identity collapsing into invisibility, or prolonged loneliness. Their exit path consists of moving towards a safe emotional witnessing position, coming back to a slow rehumanization, and restoring feeling without pressure or fixing. In the case of the external rationals, shutdown expresses through emotional suppression, through a hyperfunctionality, and performance without connection. Their identity narrative consists of feelings get in the way. They are at risk of burnout, of relational dominance, and inability to receive care. So their exit path consists of reframing emotion as an strategic data, also control vulnerability, and coming back to a competence-based support system. And in the case of external emotionals, shutdown expresses through sudden disengagement, emotional flattening after intensity, and oscillation between closeness and withdrawal. Their identity narrative consists of I give too much, it's better to stop. They are at risk of falling into identity diffusion and impulsive isolation, and also experiencing too much emotional volatility. So their exit path consists of predictable and consistent bonds, setting new boundaries around emotional labor, and pursuing a stability before intensity. And why numbness is often mistaken for maturity? Well, society often rewards emotionally shut down men, as they are calm, unreactive, efficient, and undemanding. So numbness is mistaken for emotional intelligence, stoicism, growth, but maturity is not the absence of feeling. Maturity is the capacity to feel without being ruled by it. Shutdown removes feeling altogether. Why men stay here for years? Well, emotional shutdown doesn't hurt, doesn't alarm others, doesn't disrupt work, doesn't cause crisis. So nothing forces change. Men can live decades in this state by being functional, productive, emotionally absent, until they realize nothing is wrong, but nothing is right either. So how men exit shutdown realistically? This study is clear. Numbness doesn't resolve through insight. It resolves through safe re-exposure. That means taking a small emotional risk. That means predictable response and no more overwhelming vulnerability. Feeling returns gradually, not dramatically. The goal is not to feel everything again, but to feel something in a safely way. When a man feels nothing, he has not failed. He has adapted, but adaptation is not his destiny. Understanding emotional shutdown allows men to stop shaming themselves, to stop forcing emotion, and to stop mistaking numbness for strength, and begin slowly to re-enter feeling without self-destruction. So hopefully this live stream has helped you in this to figure out this topic. Please like the live stream or the video replay subscribe to the channel to support this content. Much courage, take care, and see you in the next one.